Todd, Coley, and Azia Branson here with the Texan News Service, here for the Texan Sports Minute. Azia, thank you for stopping by, hanging out a little bit, talking some sports.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, it's been a busy week in sports. The Texans, they went out to eastern New Mexico and got a big, much-needed win, following a much-needed win against against Kingsville, so that was good. The Texans, they're still looking great in volleyball. They started hot, and they haven't really stopped. Texan basketball ranked top 10 in some of the polls here preseason, going to be starting up pretty soon. They had Midnight Madness. Around the national sports world, we got Cowboys still looking awesome. Giants in the World Series looking pretty good. So starting off, what do you think about the Texans going out to eastern New Mexico, winning big?
That was a really exciting game. It was an away game, so I got to pay attention to it via Twitter and online. So it was exciting because every time they would update with stats, it would be like, what is Colin Strahan doing out there? He's just taking them to town. And the whole team just, really came together for that game, and it was exciting to see them, 2 games in a row, really just put up all of those offensive points and stuff like that. It was amazing. Now,
you mentioned Colin Strahan. He broke one of his own records, which was set the previous week in that Kingsville game. He rushed for 156 yards, which you got to shake your head at that. You got to wonder, was there a defense? What were they? But at the same time, they're obviously guarding the pass because Clifton Rhodes, he set the record in that game for all-time receptions at Tarleton. He's now got 190 receptions. So what do you think of this revamped offense? They're looking real good since that trip to Commerce where they didn't look so hot.
Yeah, I think Coach must have said something to them like, hey, let's get it together, because they really, I don't know what happened at Commerce, obviously, but I guess things weren't executed right, but it's been exciting to see they come out home and blow 80 points on the board, and then this week they just have been, it's amazing to see them come together as a team and just use all these guys. Clifton Road breaking records, Strahan breaking records. I know Leonard Myers had 4 touchdowns in that game on Saturday, so it's just exciting to see everybody come together and really work together, put some points up. Everybody's
got a hand in it, it seems. Now, we did get a chance to talk with senior defensive linebacker Alex Anderson and Lucas Love. He's a senior offensive lineman, one of the better ones in the country. And we got some time to speak with Coach Fowler. They talked a little bit about what goes into, making this big turnaround. We'll go to that. We'll go to some clips from that video now. How do you feel like the season's going so far for you guys?
Lucas? I think we started off good, beating West Texas, and then we just kind of got down a little bit, but now we're trying to come back and do the best we can to win out.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on really with those first few games. We started high. We wanted to win that first game, and we did, and that was important to us, and then we didn't execute as well as we should have the next few, but we're getting back to where we need to be.
Now, what does it do for the team to get these kind of big wins in the middle of the season like this and kind of help your momentum going down towards the end?
It builds confidence. That's 90% of the game right there is confidence. And then, you might not be real good, but if you're confident, you're going to do what you need to do to win. And it builds confidence, man.
Well, the thing about this football program in the past several years, it almost seems like we haven't had a run of good luck. Things off the field, a lot of things have happened to this team that have allowed us to grow closer together. Losing Chance, him getting hurt, and losing Miss Cheryl. We have a lot of reasons to be close right now. And we all want to win. And in this class, Lucas and myself and the rest of the guys in our class, we want it. We want it bad because we've had a bad season and we've had good seasons here, and we want to finish strong. And I think everybody's on board.
At the beginning of the season, there was more than just Tarleton picked to win the conference. There was a lot of teams that picked.
6 teams.
So, talk a little bit about how it is playing in that conference.
As long as I've been in this conference, every team in our conference has won the conference championship. Since I've been at Tarleton, every team has won the conference championship now. That tells you week in, week out that you got to play very well. But then we've had one team make the playoffs the last couple of years, and they go to the region. They win the region, and then they go to the finals of the region both times. What happens if they put 2 teams in there? It's only going to be a better situation. We have more NFL players out of this conference than any 1AA conference or the FCS or Division II. The players here are more dominant than even the small mid majors that go into the National Football League. And that tells you how dominant we are. And we, it's a, what we refer in the coaching language, it's a bloodbath, because you got to come with it every week. And that's a huge situation, huge things for us. But it's very, very, very difficult to play and be successful. The team that can play with their roster, if their starting lineup stays the same throughout the year, very minimal changes, they win the conference. Tarleton State a year ago, And that's what's happening, with a lot of teams now. If they stay healthy, you can win. If you get banged up, they're going to find your weak spot very, very quickly.
Seen Clifton Rhodes III set the Tarleton record for catches. Seen Colin Strahan set records, then break his own records that he's set. So talk a little bit about those two guys and how they've been able to break out so well for you guys.
Clifton is, over a period of time, he's been in the top 10 in the league in receiving for the last 3 years, and he'll be again, for his 4th year. And he's been playing since I got here. We opened it up and threw the ball, base our passing game, a lot of stuff off the air raid systems that you see, but we run it a little bit more. And, Clifton has been a product of consistency over his career, and that's why you're seeing that. And you'll see him break another record very quickly, and he may break another one. Colin was a very highly recruited quarterback coming out of high school. And it's no mystery that he can make plays. I didn't want to put the pressure on him. I made comments about him early in his career that he could do things at our level that Johnny Manziel did at Texas A&M. Well, you're seeing it now. You have this when you can run the football and throw the football and account for 540 yards. Those are the same things that the fans seen, in College Station where Johnny Manziel. Colin is that type of player at our level. He's now getting comfortable in the offense. We're getting comfortable with him. We had to make changes that cater to his needs.
All right, and if you'd like some more of those videos, go to our YouTube page at Texan News Service, and we have the full videos of the entire interview on there.
All right, our Texan volleyball team, as you mentioned, off to a hot start. Continuing with that hot start, not really ever, stopping. And they played last night, did amazing. What have you seen? You got to talk to a couple of the girls as well. And what are you liking about the volleyball team so far this year?
I'm liking their, I don't know if this is even a word, but teamliness. I'm liking how much of a team they are.
Not a word.
It's a word now. They preach family. They love each other. And those girls, we were able to talk to. We were able to talk to Jasmine Brown. She's a senior, and a junior, Kelsey Ragland. And we've talked to. I know Katie Koval was in here, and Kenya came in here. So we've talked to them. We've talked to their coach, and it's just. They are really together. They talk about how much they love the crowds at Wisdom Gym when they're playing home games. The crowd is behind them. They had that little lull. They started so hot. They had one weekend where they lost a few matches, but since then they've won 8 of their last 9. They've won 4 in a row, and I can't think of off the top of my head, but the team they beat last night was like 14-2. They've been doing really well, so it's very impressive to see, and it's great when those girls come by for the interviews because you can tell they're really enjoying themselves.
Yeah, they are. I agree. They're always really excited. They're probably the most excited team on campus, whether they're losing or they're winning. That's fun to watch that.
Now we will cut to some highlights of the interviews with Kelsey Ragland and Jasmine Brown, and also you can go to the YouTube channel for those full videos. So we'll go ahead and cut to the highlights of that right now.
It's really been a roller coaster, but as a team, we've tried to keep God first and just roll with the punches and just ride it out. No.
Now, Jasmine, as a senior here, you've seen a lot as a Texan. Explain a little bit how it is, I guess, mentoring the freshmen, the sophomores, kind of helping them and showing them the ropes.
Oh, it's a joy, and it's really a blessing because coming from, we weren't as dynamic as we are now, and just having so many talents and such a great group of girls, it's a joy every day.
Well, what are you hoping to kind of get together heading into tournament play? What are you hoping the team kind of accomplishes here in the last few games?
More so than ever, just pushing that last final push. Just staying together, really focusing on, making things perfect. We've got the chemistry, we've got the skills down, we've got, the teamwork down, but really just pushing it and working on that throughout the conference tournament and stuff. Just really growing with that, pushing each other. Continuing to find that desire to play each and every day, that continues through the conference tournament. So.
And like I said, if you'd like to see the complete interviews, you can go to our YouTube channel at Texan News Service, and we post all those every week. And it also has, since the beginning of the semester, we got interviews with Coach Lon Reisman, our athletic director, assistant athletic director Casey Hogan, talking about our six-figure deal with Ford Motors for our Tarleton network. So plenty of interviews on there if y'all want to go check it out. Now, speaking of Coach Lon Reisman, his basketball team has moved their exhibition against TCU to November 6th. Now, that's going to be in Fort Worth against TCU. I believe that I heard at the press conference that we beat TCU the last time we actually played them. So that'll be a good chance to kind of measure yourself against a Big 12 team. Now, they are ranked top 10 in some of the polls. What excites you about the basketball team? I know they're fun to watch. So what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, it was exciting Midnight Madness last week to watch the girls and the boys come out and kind of just, mess around, but also, show their stuff to the crowd and gets everybody, on campus excited for the basketball season. They're so fun to watch. I mean, I'm excited to watch the guys who are seniors this year, Michael Harge being able to, be that number one guy, and probably Devin Carter. I love his dunks and stuff like that. So I got to take pictures at the games last year, and it's always fun to be that close to the game. And so I'm really excited to, watch them again this season and see how well they do.
I tell you, some of those games they turned into, they played Midwestern State 4 times. That was rough. None of them were blowouts either way, but some of those games in Wisdom Gym, those teams were getting blown out by the Texans, and they were putting on a show for sure.
So, as far as national sports go, we've got some exciting news. Regionally, we have the Cowboys doing pretty well at the top of the NFC South, and is that right?
East.
sorry.
But they're on top of the whole NFC, so don't worry.
NFC. So, what are you liking about your Cowboys these days?
What's not to like, Asia? Let's be honest here. It's most people that were Cowboys fans, they went into the season thinking 8-8 would be a success. That it's been 8-8 the last few seasons, but with the way this defense was looking before the season started, it was going to be a disaster. And then you lose Sean Lee, one of your best players on defense. Also, Morris Claiborne's gone down, haven't missed a beat. Now, I mean, the Cowboys, one thing that they haven't done really well is rush the quarterback. They only have 7 sacks on the season, and DeMarcus Ware has 7 sacks by himself, and we kind of let that guy go. But, you pick up Rolando McClain basically off the trash pile. He's retired from the Raiders, and the Ravens pick him up. He doesn't work out there, and we're able to get him. And that guy has really shown that he is a good football player. So, if it's not the defense, it's running the ball. And what they say is, the people that'll win, the team that wins the game is a team that can control the tempo. And your run game kind of sets that whole thing up. If you can run the clock and you sit there and you take 8 minutes to do a drive down the field and you don't let the other team touch the ball, I mean, that's how you keep guys like Drew Brees from scoring a bunch of points. So.
All right. As far as, we got DeMarco Murray, 7 straight 100-plus rushing yards. That's awesome. I mean,
it's
that's
a record.
Incredible. He is doing crazy good right now. And Romo with 14 touchdowns, only 6 picks. 3 of those coming in the opener against the Niners. So, they had he was looking like he was going to be your average Tony Romo. So what are you liking from Tony Romo this season?
Average Tony Romo is normally pretty good. It's the bad average. I mean, Tony Romo, a lot of people like to give him grief, but if you look at his fourth quarter stats, just going statistically, he is one of the best fourth quarter quarterbacks in the league since he started playing. Now, does he make some bad decisions? Yeah, that game against the Broncos last year where they were in it, it was 50-something to 50-something, and Tony Romo throws a pick in the fourth quarter. It looks bad. But, I've always told people that the reason you're in that position to have Tony Romo throw a pick and maybe lose the game for you is because he kept you in that game, So it's been real exciting. We saw that, like you mentioned, the 3 picks in the first game of the season. It looked bad. It looked bad, and Tony Romo, he had back surgery and stuff, so I know that he's actually taking Wednesday off from practice now. He's doing a little less practice, and it's been looking great for him. I mean, 13 touchdowns to 3 picks since that opener, and you've beaten some pretty good teams. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the Cowboys. I'm excited. I hope that they can be 9-1, and I hope the Eagles can be 9-1 on Thanksgiving Day when the Eagles come to Cowboys Stadium to play, because that would be that'd be probably one of the best Thanksgiving games that the Cowboys have had in a very long time. Yeah. So now we talk about national sports. Got to mention the World Series. The Giants, not a fan because they did beat the Rangers in 2010, but since then, 2010 took 11 off. 2012, back and win the World Series. 2013 took 13 off, come back in 14. Back in the World Series, up 1-0. Madison Bumgarner looked amazing last night, pitching 7 innings and just giving up 1 run. I know you might like the Giants. I don't know why you like the Giants, but tell me a little bit about what you're thinking on this series and how far it's going to go.
I am from California, so that is a little bit where I get
I'm sorry to hear that.
But it's been so exciting to watch them throughout this postseason. Madison Bumgarner, I knew that was going to be a win last night. I think the Royals kind of knew, if you're going to lose any game, it's going to be against Madison Bumgarner. He broke his streak last night of I think it was 32 plus innings. Just without any runs scored, and he broke that last night when he let that run score. And so, but he's been solid, absolutely solid, and he's just kind of hanging out. His interviews, he's just really chill. He didn't just win a World Series game, but it was pretty cool. And the whole team's been working so hard together. The new guys, the old guys, the guys who've been 2010, 2012, and 2014, and then the guys who this is their first time. It's been cool to see all of them come together and get really excited about winning the World Series.
Now, they say James Shields is a big-time pitcher. He lives for these big games. He did not look so hot in Game 1. They're putting Yordano Ventura on the mound tonight for the Royals. San Francisco rolls out Jake Peavy. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I'm familiar with Jake Peavy.
Yeah.
Not familiar with Ventura, so I'm not so sure how it's going to go. But the Royals have had a way in this postseason of making it work. I personally thought they would have a good chance in the World Series because they were kind of playing NL-style ball in the AL. They were stealing bases. They were subbing in base runners. They were using their bullpen really well. So I thought they'd have a shot. The way they lose Game 1 and the way the Giants' offense suddenly looked good, that's got to be kind of disheartening for the Royals. What do you think they need to do to come back?
I think that they will be able, they got to win tonight. It's a huge game at home before going, being down 2-0, going back to San Francisco. I don't know if they're going back to San Francisco after that, but, they will be going back to San Francisco. And you don't want to be down 2 games because then they're going to get 2 games at home. And I don't see the Giants losing in San Francisco. Their fans are insane. They're amazing. But I think that the Royals do have a chance. I think that they, maybe they needed that one loss in the postseason to kind of, light a fire under them for them to, get that magic back or whatever it is. So, it's anyone's game, especially tonight, in Kansas City. So we'll see how it goes. But, I think that if the Giants keep up the way they're playing right now, with the offense and the defense and their pitching just unstoppable, I think that I don't think the Royals have a chance.
Now, you mentioned maybe the loss woke them up. That actually is the first loss for the Royals in the postseason. Now, the last team to do that was the Colorado Rockies. They swept their way to the World Series in 2007. Then they got swept by the Red Sox. So we'll see if you kind of run out of magic by the time you are in the World Series, or if that long layoff. They were off for 5-6 days before. If that kind of ruins the magic, I'm not sure. I don't really feel like the magic's still there as much as I wish it was, because it would be cool to see the Royals win. They haven't won. They haven't even been there in 29 years. So it would be interesting, but I don't see it happening. So
I know it.
Well, that pretty much wraps up sports. Some announcements around Tarleton. We do have the football game against McMurray in Abilene Saturday at 2 p.m. Coach Fowler's radio show. It's a weekly radio show out at Legends Country Club on Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. The country club will have some food and drink specials. If you're going to get one thing, I really recommend the Reisman wings. They were really good. And Coach Lon Reisman actually endorsed them when I was there that evening. He was like, "Those are my wings." And I was like, "They're really good, Coach." So he'll be out there at the country club. Texan volleyball. They play this Friday at A&M Kingsville, and that's at 7 p.m. They return home against Eastern New Mexico on October 31st, Halloween night at 6 p.m. As always, you can follow us at Texan News Sports on Twitter. And Azia, I appreciate you stopping by, talking a little sports today.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Texans. Y'all have a great week, and we are out.